You know, Jenna, I always like to do something different.
Yes.
Now, we have an interview show here.
Yes.
There are people waiting desperately to see our guest. Our guest didn't arrive. Has there ever been an interview show without the interviewee?
I don't think so.
Well, we're setting a precedent. Our guest isn't here, but that's not going to stop us.
It's not. Cheers.
Whoever he is, we'll talk about him. And good luck. Cheers.
Guys, welcome to Cocktails with Stan. I am Jenna Busch here with the legendary Stan Lee. And our guest is coming, Donald Faison.
Yeah, Donald Faison. And maybe he'll be here, maybe he won't. But we don't let any... wait a minute, I was just getting going. If you're going to be late, have the decency to be very late.
I'm sorry, Stan. I'm so sorry. You know what? Why don't I step out and let your bit go?
No, it's too late.
If it's too late, it's too late. All right. What are we sipping on?
Something pink.
I have no idea. Good luck.
They never tell us. No, it's just something interesting in pink.
It says cocktails with Stan, so they got to furnish the cocktail.
That's
It's
what's
true.
up.
They're
It's true.
sorry it didn't say water with Stan, because it would have been a cheaper show.
And you,
They always look to cut the budget, you know. So what have you been doing lately?
I'm doing a show right now called The X's on TV Land.
Now, I know you're going to hate this if I ask you questions about the show, because the last thing you want to do is in any way promote the new show.
that is the last.
But even before we get started on that, what about Scrubs? You were doing that, weren't you?
Yeah,
you were a doctor.
Yeah, I was a doctor for 9 years.
Dr. Turk. Closer to Dr. Strange or Dr. Doom?
Oh wow, Strange.
Yeah?
Yeah, Strange is a good doctor.
Would you be impressed if I could quote a few of Dr. Strange in incantations?
Absolutely.
One of my favorites is by the hoary hosts of Hoggoth. Now, I'm not going to tell you who Hoggoth is because it's too shocking. Another one is by the shades of the shadowy seraphim. See, I felt if we're going to do a show about a real magician, I didn't want him to say abracadabra.
Right.
I wanted to give him his own expressions. And the thing I love, sometimes I go to a comic book convention and somebody will walk over to me and he'll say, "By the crimson rings of Sidorak, good to see you, Stan." And it's one of the quotes. Oh, it's such a good thing. I figure out of all the millions of people, somebody read Dr. Strange. So we finished Scrubs. We're out of the way. You're no longer a doctor.
I'm no longer a doctor.
And you are reluctantly going to tell us about your new show.
Yeah, on my new show, I play a ladies' man. I live in an apartment with 2 other guys, and our divorce attorney is our landlady. Kristen Johnston, Wayne Knight, David Allen Bache, and Kelly Stables are the stars of the show, along with myself. It's a lot of fun. It's a sitcom in the old sitcom tradition, and it takes place in New York, but we shoot it in LA.
No story ever is shot where it takes place, unless they can't avoid that somehow.
Right. Well, yeah. Luckily, we're on a studio. We're on a stage most of the time.
But that's great. A real old-fashioned sitcom.
What old sitcoms do you guys like? What are your favorites?
Cosby Show.
Oh, yeah.
That's what, that was the first time I was like, wow, black people got real jobs. And of course, I loved Cheers and Friends. I loved Archie Bunker.
You're not old enough to know Archie Bunker.
I'm old enough. I'm old enough. Yeah.
All in the Family, right?
All in the
God,
Family.
that was a great show.
I used to watch that
Great
too.
show.
I love that show. Well, you guys are both from New York too.
Yeah.
I was Queens.
Okay, Queens, Brooklyn, eh?
Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Manhattan and a little bit of the Bronx.
Okay.
Because I went to DeWitt Clinton High School.
Okay.
In the Bronx.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you how stupid I am. There were many high schools in the Bronx. Like a moron, I go to DeWitt Clinton before I realize it's boys only.
Wow.
4 years in a high school with no female.
You stayed the whole 4 years. You didn't want to leave.
I couldn't get out of it. It was like a prison term.
Well, you do a ton of voice work.
I do.
So which superhero do you want to voice?
I want to voice Black Panther, to be honest with you.
Oh, I can't wait for a Black Panther movie.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. I'd love to see how how you guys would do that.
Producers at Marvel, pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention. He said pay attention, so you gotta pay attention.
You'd probably be good.
I'd be all right.
You'd be
All right.
fantastic.
How did Excelsior come up?
Excelsior?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be asking you the
I know,
tough
but
questions.
I've been wondering this for such a long time.
I decided one day to do something that would frustrate the competition. Marvel and DC were big competitors. And I would end whatever I wrote with little phrases that I made up, like, whatever you do, wherever you go, face front, or don't forget, guys, hang loose. And little by little, I would see those expressions cropping up in a DC book. So I said, because I'm incredibly clever, as you can tell, I said, I'm going to find a word or an expression that they won't be able to copy because A, they won't know what it means, and B, they won't know how to spell it. So I looked around and I noticed that on the Great Seal of the state of New York is the word Excelsior, which I looked up. It's an old English expression which means upward and onward to greater glory. How can you do better than that?
You can't.
So I ended up ending all of the little things I wrote with Excelsior, and obviously the competition had no idea what the word meant, didn't know how to spell it, and they've let me alone. Nobody.
Ever since.
So I copyrighted it and I trademarked it. You mentioned it once, that's all you're allowed.
Okay, I won't say it again, but after Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, you would say it all the time, and first of all, how come you can't find Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends anywhere? Why can't you find that anywhere?
What do you mean you can't find them?
I've looked online. I've looked.
Do you mean for the comic books?
No, for the television series with him, Iceman, and Firestar.
Maybe they're not on.
But oh man, I just remember every Saturday watching Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. At one point they fought Pac-Man, and I thought that was amazing.
Wait, I missed that episode.
Yeah, so somehow the video games got out of the video game. So all of the characters in the video game are now running around in the streets. And Spider-Man, Firestar, and Iceman go to battle with these guys. And it was so amazing. And Spider-Man, there's one where Spider-Man's running from Pac-Man and he's just chomping behind him. It's like this huge Pac-Man. So awesome.
I want you to put his name down. And we'll call him every time we need an extra guest.
I will come through and I will hang out and we could talk comics, we could talk life, we could talk anything you want. It's an honor for me to be here.
That was so much fun.
Thank you for having me.
It was moderately entertaining.
Jenna, it was a pleasure.
Great to
Oh, and
meet
we
you.
can't end officially without saying Excelsior.
Yeah.